Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I am from Feild group. We member are number 1 Devi Rosmita, second Jade Gaura, and the last is Ghina Salsabila. Now we will do a presentation about review journal. Review journal number 1. Title of the journal: Toxic Beauty or Cosmetic Harmful to Our Health. Volume and Fake, Volume 6 and Fake 1 to 4. This journal was published in the year 2016. Author of the journal: Dr. Ipsita Masmundar and Professor Krishna Yoti Gosmawi. Reviewer: Devi Rosmita, Jade Gaura, and Ghina Salsabila. Abstract of the journal: the routes of entry of heavy metals like lead PB include some cosmetic, especially color cosmetic like lipstick. This study aims to determine PB content in lipstick brands sold across Indian markets and attempts to quantify whether and how far they exceed the maximum permissible limit approved by FDA. The samples were processed by wet digestion method, and analysis was done by flame emission spectrophotometry. Studies saw an alarmingly higher PB level in all the sample tests. The lead concentration in various lipstick colors in the searching order are brown, pink, purple, maroon, red. Introduction: heavy metal toxicity to the human and animal is a result of optimum level exposure to pollutants common in our environment, including the air we breathe and water and food we consume. Apart from this, numerous consumer products like cosmetics and toiletries have been reported as a source of heavy metals exposure to human beings. Although consumers have said the demand of various brands of cosmetics in market, various side effects as well as toxic effects have been attributed to it so much so that clinicians and researchers have always been attracted to seek out the reasons behind this effect. It has been established that heavy metals like lead PB is a common contaminant in various brands of cosmetics, mostly color cosmetics like lipstick, and is responsible for a variety of cosmetic effects. Methods: number 1, digestion method using nitric acid and perchloric acid in 3:1 ratio and hydrogen peroxide. The blends were also processed and analyzed simultaneously. Second, the method of standard addition, which is used as a validation method, was used to demonstrate of validity of our method. Hence, a recovery test was performed using method of standard addition. And the last results were analyzed for statistical significance by using statistical package software version 9. Result and discussion. Result: a total of 48 samples of lipstick from different brands were studied for the presence of lead. Besides the presence of PB across different colors of lipstick from the same brands were also dissected and analyzed. The brands were classified into 3 categories: A, B, and C. The figure besides is a table level of lead in various brands and shades of lipstick in Indian markets. Discussion. The primary ingredients found in lipstick are wax, oil, alcohol, and dye. Talc elite is not an active ingredient of the lipstick. It is present as impurity in the color active. It is observed that the local silver brands have more quantity of lead than as compared to the drugstore and high-quality luxury brands. Also, the loss-lasting formula contain more lead is them as compared to the normal one, and the shimmer containing lipstick have more of the toxic metals as compared to the color. Shimmer containing lipstick have more of the toxic metal as compared to the color only shades of the some brands. Heavy metal become toxic when they are not metabolized by the body accumulative. In this study have revealed that the concentration of lead in the lipstick under study is much higher than that specified by the US FDA for candy. Also, continuous use of this cosmetic could result in an increase in the toxic metal level of body beyond permissible limits. Most common and widely used lipstick found in Indian market contain level of lead ranging from 2 to 8 microgram, that is 20 to 80 times higher than the US FDA guideline value of 0.1 microgram per liter in candy. Reference Mas Mundar Ipsita DKK 2016. Toxic beauty or cosmetic harmful to our health. Journal Medical Science Volume 6 number 5.
Okay, let's move to review second journal. The title of the journal is Health Risk Assessment on Hazardous Ingredients in Household Deodorizing Products. Volume and page, volume 15 and page 1 until 12. Year of published 2018. Authors are Min Jin Lee, Jo Hyun Kim, Dae Yop Lee, Jo Woo Kim, Hyun Woo Lim, Jung Hwan So, and Jung Kwon Park. And reviewer are Devi Rosmita, Ghina Salsabila, and me, Jade Gaura. Abstract. The inhalation of a water aerosol from a humidifier containing disinfectants has led to serious lung injuries in Korea. To promote the safe use of products, the Korean government enacted regulation on the chemicals in various consumer products that could have adverse health effects. Given the concern over the potential health risks associated with the hazardous ingredients in deodorizing consumer products, 16 ingredients were analyzed and assessed according to their health risks on 3 groups by the application type in 47 deodorizing products. The risk assessment study followed a stepwise procedure, example, collecting toxicological information, hazard identification or exposure assessment, and screening and detailed assessment for inhalation and dermal routes. The worst case scenario and maximum concentration determined by the product purpose and application type were used as the screening assessment. In a detailed assessment, the 75 exposure factor values were used to estimate the assumed reasonable exposure to ingredients. The exposed concentration of 7 ingredients were calculated. Due to elimination of toxicity information, butylate hydroxyl toluene for a consumer's exposure via the dermal route only was conducted for a detailed assessment. This study showed that the assessed ingredients have no health risk at their maximum concentration in deodorizing products. Introduction. In recent years, various studies point out that some chemicals found in personal care products, example, phthalate, heavy metals like zinc, lead, and arsenic, methanol, hydroquinone, and 1,4-dioxane, may be associated with a risk of allergies, endocrine disruption, neurotoxicity, birth defects, or cancer. The major routes for consumer exposure to the vast majority of household products in through inhalation and dermal contact. Ingredient chemicals such as fragrance and biocides may have adverse health effects. Example, humidifiers including polyhexamethylene guanidine chloride, aka PHMG, cause serious lung injuries and deaths. This study identified the concentration of hazardous ingredients in deodorizing products and evaluated the risk characterization for dermal and inhalation exposure based on the worst-case scenario and related to a single consumer product use. The target ingredients were evaluated for a human health risk assessment following the single use of a selected consumer product. 1. Preparation of the target products and ingredients. To identify how the ingredients were used in the various products, 47 deodorizing products were purchased online and from a supermarket based on the result of a survey conducted to allocate the products commonly used on the Korean market. These deodorizing products comprise 31 spray type products and 16 other application types. 2. Concentration determination of the target ingredients. The purchased deodorizing product sample were prepared, extracted, and analyzed according to the standard operation of the analytical procedure, aka SOP, developed by the National Institute of Environment Research. 3. Quality assurance or quality control and recovery study. All analytical procedures, including recovery study, were monitored using the KIE or KISI guidelines in the Korean official method on the National Institute of Environment Research, aka KNLIC. The recovery of target ingredients added to samples without the target chemicals was carried out. According to guidelines, quality control target value of precision was a relative standard deviation smaller than 30%. Therefore, goal value of accuracy was 70 until 130%. 4. Toxicity information and dose response for the target ingredients. 4. Toxicity information and dose response for the target ingredients. An evaluation of the toxicological data was carried out in relation to the respiratory and irritant effects of short and long-term exposure to the ingredients under investigation. The official toxicological reports and studies, aka EU HR dossier and OECD CITES report, were collected for each ingredient. In the next step, the toxicity reference values, example chronic no observed adverse effect concentration, aka NOAEC, and no observed adverse effect, aka NOAEL, were calculated according to the official guidance. 5. Hazard identification. and exposure assessment for target ingredients. This study considered the exposure to product through two pathways, inhalation and dermal contact. To assess the health risk from the exposure level, the Mo and hazard question, aka HQ, were calculated for the ingredients. The Mo is defined as the ratio of the NOAEL for the critical effect to the theoretical. Predicted or estimate dose or concentration. HQ is defined as a reference dose. If the Mo of the ingredients is lower than the target Mo, the ingredient may pose a health risk. Result and discussion. Result. The person study considered the hazardous ingredients in deodorizing products. In total, 70 hazardous ingredients were analyzed in 47 deodorizing products of spray, trigger, liquid, and fumigation application types. 7 ingredients in the products were analyzed among the 17 ingredients in the deodorizing products in this study. Table 7 lists the number of analyzed products and their range of ingredient concentration. The detection rate of hazardous ingredients range from 0.13% to 63.83% in mostly the trigger application type products. The detection frequency butylate hydroxytoluene was relatively high. It was found in 30 out of the 47 products. The detection rates of the ingredients were in the following order: butylate hydroxytoluene 63.83%, octamethyl cyclotetrasilone 8.51%, zinc oxide and D-N-octyl phthalate 6.38%, and others. The other ingredients were detected as below the limit of quantitation. The toxicological data were assessed based on long-term exposure to the ingredients and exposure routes. According to the assessment result through the dermal route, butylate hydroxytoluene may pose a health risk. None of the other ingredients have toxicological information, and the detection rate in the deodorizing products was too low. Consequently, exposure assessment could not be performed. Discussion. In the case of deodorizing products, inhalation and dermal exposure are considered to be the main exposure routes to consumer. Quantitative considerations in the risk assessment include dose response assessment, exposure assessment, and characterization of uncertainty. Reliable exposure factors are essential to determine the health risk posed by the ingredients in deodorizing products. Butylate hydroxytoluene is a widely used antioxidant additive and an ingredient studied for its potential toxicity. Butylate hydroxytoluene can improve the stability of consumer products and is permitted as a direct or indirect food additive. Although a variety experimental studies have been reported for several ingredients used in consumer products. Example, butylate hydroxytoluene, there are no data for human. The limited toxicity data for long-term studies may impede a human risk assessment study for target ingredients. The absence of sufficient chemical-specific inhalation toxicity data is one of the limitations of a risk assessment study for inhalation. In some cases of a risk assessment for dermal exposure, only the road-to-road extrapolation was applied for the oral to dermal route without default values due to the limited dermal toxicological information. The hazardous ingredients studied were considered in selected types of deodorizing products and were found to be adequately safe after a consumer risk assessment because the calculated most of the ingredients were greater than the target amount. Conclusion: this study analyzed the hazardous ingredients contained in household spray and trigger deodorizing agents and human health exposure assessment. Long-term respiratory exposure to the ingredients may lead to enhanced health risks such as respiratory problems. Considering the health hazard of household spray and trigger products, proper regulation should be developed to reduce the potential risks associated with the use of those products. Moreover, effort is needed to routinely monitor the consumer's health risk stemming from long-term use. The risk assessment approach discussed in the study should be used to establish improved guidelines for specific ingredients in consumer products and for setting limits for newly developed raw materials that might pose dermal and inhalation hazards. Strength: the method used in this research is very specific, and we can see that there are many forms and types of deodorizing, and we get information about the hazardous chemicals contained in that can cause long-term effects. And the weakness: the results for the calculation of the toxicity of hazardous chemicals are not presented with a formula, but the results are presented directly.
Okay everyone, and the next, I am Ghina Salsabila. Here I explain the next journal entitled Skin Safety and Healthy Prevention, an overview of the semi-cell in cosmetic product. Volume and page. GPREF MAD HYG 2019 60 E50 till E57. Year of publish is 2019. Author is E. Panicho, V. Serio, V. Bagordo, T. Grassi, E. Idulo, M. De Giorgi, M. Guido, N. Chongedo, and E. De Dono. The reviewer is Devi Rosmita, Jade Gaura, Angelia Kristata, and Ghina Salsabila.
Okay, the next part in the abstract. Cosmetic product contain a wide range of chemicals to which we are exposed every day. The aim of the study was to determine the presence of potential dangerous substances which can cause adverse health effects by examining product labels. A total of 2,083 products were collected from various of inlage and divided into 3 categories: rinse off, leave-in on, and makeup. The level of every product was examined and the list including fragrance, preservatives, and other chemicals of concern was created. Fragrance were present in 52% of the examined product, mostly limonene, 76, and linalool, 64, but also citronellol, 34, geraniol, 31, coumarin,
And hexylcinnamol, 29%. And keyword is health prevents, cosmetic, cocktail effect, and addictive effect. And then the next part in introduction. In their everyday life, people are exposed to a great range of chemicals, most of which occur naturally in the environment, but others are derived from human activities, being present in foods, water, and various daily use products. Because our skin is the largest surface of the body interacting with external environment. It is both involuntarily exposed to abiotic and biotic factors, and voluntarily due to personal care and cosmetic product use. As a matter of fact, all the ingredients used in cosmetic products meet certain regulatory requirements. However, the use of many substances is allowed within certain limits due to their toxicity at higher concentration. Other important aspects should be considered, as for instance, the possibility of long-term effect. And the next part, method in the journal. Ingredient information from labels was collected by taking photos in the shops or downloading that sheets from web shops. Because of the lack of available data on sales rate of specific product to the public as in other studies. And then, all products were divided into three categories: range of product leave-on, product body cream, face cream, hand cream, deodorant, sunscreen, aftershave, and then makeup ones like lipstick, lip balm, foundation, nail, and polish. Okay, the next part is result and discussion. Fragrance. A total of 2,083 products were examined. 10,012 range of 10,003 leave-on and 68 make-up table 1. Fragrance individuate on the table label was 19. Preservative were 16 and other chemicals of sunscreen were 12. The 19 fragrance individuate in the table 2 are all included in the list of 26 allergens redacted by SCCS. In addition, the presence of fragrance was found in organic and children's products in table 3, respectively 56% and 18%. And then, preservative. 60% of the selected product contained at least one of the preservative investigated. Above all, among range of product, 75%. The most frequently identified preservative in table 4. And next, result and discussion. In the study, the presence of chemicals that can affect human health in consumer available personal care and cosmetic products used by a large part of the population and frequently into contact with the body was examined. More attention should be given to leave-on and makeup products which stay longer on the skin. For the reason, dangerous substances could determine greater negative effect on human health. And then, the next is conclusion. Use a cosmetic, most people are exposed worldwide to a variety of potentially harmful substances, although the amounts may be small, and their effects sometimes poorly understood. Continuous exposure to a mix of these chemicals of long periods could have consequences for the health. Okay, the last part is strength and weakness. Strength is the method used in this study is very specific, and the distribution or collection of cosmetic products in stores is widespread enough so that we can determine which cosmetic product contain hazardous chemicals. And the weakness is on the result of research that has been carried out. The data present is only in the form of a table. It should be given a graph so that it can see the tendency of what chemicals are used in cosmetics.
The reference is Apanicio and others, 2019, Skin Safety and Healthy Prevention, an overview of chemicals in cosmetic products, the University of Salento, Italy, volume and page 50 till 57.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.